This is Bryce Rhodes, who is currently on trial for 3 counts of murder in Louisville, Kentucky. Rhodes reportedly begun his killing spree when he shot and killed an innocent man, mistaking him for another individual. 2 brothers, a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, were in the car when Rhodes committed the murder because they were witnesses to the crime. A few weeks later, Rhodes killed those teenagers as well.
You close to these kids at all?
They're cool. We play basketball. I'm cool with a lot of people.
Did you hang out with them on a regular basis?
It was cool. Yeah, we hung at different times, you know. I need a lawyer, man, if you're gonna keep all in my face.
Trials have been going on for years due to Rhodes' erratic behavior, starting with blowing kisses to people in the courtroom, which included the family of the victims, and next making hand gestures.
Ma'am, look at me, ma'am! Mr. Rhodes, you're smiling. I don't know why you're smiling.
Because I can. It's not a crime to smile.
I would suggest you do what helps you, not what hurts you.
Okay.
That's
do what I
all.
want to do. Let's get that understood.
Rhodes once had to wear a spit mask because he spit on this attorney.
Nice cheap shot.
You a coward.
Nice cheap
You a
shot.
coward.
Excuse me.
Now, in another court appearance, Rhodes makes some bizarre accusations towards the judge.
I don't know if y'all got some type of sexual relationship going on. Are you some type of racist? Which one is it?
Or are you just wrong in everything that you made a motion for?
Are you a secret Ku Klux Klan member?
With Rhodes' in court behavior being out of control and him firing several of his lawyers, the trial has been extended much longer than expected, with it still in action. It's safe to say that Rhodes will not be back on the streets anytime soon. This is Jeremy Christian, who was found guilty of murdering 2 people in Portland. Oregon Christian was on a path to train when he suddenly broke out on a racial rant towards 2 young women. You can see bystanders step in to attempt to stop Christian. Unfortunately, the situation escalated and Christian stabbed and killed 2 men and seriously wounding a third. You can see Christian fleeing the crime scene. Passengers of the train followed him, and he was arrested about a mile away during the arrest. You can see Christian in the back of the patrol car.
I'm happy as a mother. Hopefully this mother dies.
Christian was later found guilty of 2 counts of murder and attempted murder. Now at the sentencing, one of the victims delivers a victim impact statement, and this is where Christian has an outburst.
To Mr. Jeremy Christian, your mom should have swallowed you. You are a waste of breath. And when you die and go to hell, I hope you rot.
See you there.
You ain't gonna be married either. You ain't gonna be married either. Whole city. George Floyd. George Floyd. I should have. Everybody knows you're a liar. Everybody knows you're a liar.
After Christian is escorted out of the courtroom, the judge sentenced him to 2 consecutive life terms, plus more than 25 years for his other convictions. This is Daniel Villegas. He spent 18 years in prison for a double homicide he never committed in El Paso, Texas. Villegas was arrested at 16, where an El Paso detective reportedly threatened him with beatings and the death penalty if he did not confess, and the teenage Villegas signed a confession that was prepared by the detectives. He tried to withdraw his confession a few hours after, but by then it was too late. He was charged with 2 counts of capital murder, with the false confession being the only piece of evidence. The jury was unable to agree on a verdict. Villegas had a retrial and the jury returned a guilty verdict, and he was given a life sentence after spending 18 years in prison. The verdict was thrown out and Villegas remained out on bond, where he got married and started a family. But now we're in the 3rd trial.
If the defendant will please stand.
This is the moment that Villegas will find out if he'll go home with his family or be sent back to prison to serve his life sentence.
The State of Texas versus Daniel Villegas. Verdict Form B. We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty of...
The Villegas is now a free man.
You are no longer under any conditions. You are free to leave. Thank you.
Reportedly, Villegas has filed a lawsuit against the city of El Paso. This is Michael Swanson, who was 17 when he went on a killing spree of Toyowa gas station attendees in the span of an hour.
Where did you shoot?
On the body?
Yeah.
And on the face?
In the face? Okay. Why the face?
If I was just going to shoot to injure her, why would I shoot her at all?
Swanson entered a gas station in Algona, Iowa in a ski mask and a handgun, demanding cash and cigarettes from 47-year-old Vicky Bauman Hall. Despite following the request without hesitation, Swanson still shot and killed her an hour later in Humboldt. Iowa Swanson repeated the same act in another gas station, this time killing Sheila Myers. He was arrested 60 miles away from the shooting when authorities identified his vehicle with both victims following his request, but were killed anyways. It indicated that murder was Swanson's primary goal.
How did it feel when you pulled the trigger? I mean, some people say that, it feels powerful or that it's kind of a rush, or what did you feel when you pulled the trigger?
I felt powerful.
Swanson was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of burglary. All allegations of Swanson's motives were answered by himself.
I then intentionally, deliberately, and with premeditation shot the clerk, causing her to die. I did this with a specific intent to kill her.
Now, as one of the victim's daughters gives a victim impact statement, Swanson sits completely emotionless.
How could you do what you did to my mom and my family? I want to know if you're even sorry. Are you sorry for what you did? My mom was not only completely 100% innocent, but she was also a defenseless woman when you came in with that gun. You said you did it for cigarettes and money and so no one could identify you, but I think that's a lie. You did it, as you later said on, that it was so you could feel powerful.
As Swanson was sentenced, he smiled and laughed.
Cold-blooded murder. Cold-blooded murder, young man. You are dangerous. You are unpredictable. Prison for the rest of your life.
As Swanson was sentenced, he smiled and laughed. Swanson was given 2 life sentences, and 4 years into his sentence, he slit another inmate's throat. This is Austin Myers and Timothy Mosley. They were both convicted of murdering 18-year-old Justin back in Waynesville, Ohio. The 2 men, Myers and Mosley, went to Back's house and attempt to rob a safe that belonged to his father. During the robbery, Back was strangled with a choke wire.
The idea of strangling them, that way it would create no mess, pretty much be an easier job to handle. Obviously, Justin was trying to put up a fight, and he wasn't overpowering us.
Justin Beck was then stabbed 21 times until he died.
Justin was trying to ask us why. He was pleading to stop and pretty much begging for his life.
On trial, Mosley testified against Myers to obtain a plea bargain where he pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. Finally, for Myers, he takes the stand in front of the jury, asking them to spare his life for his family in hopes of avoiding the death sentence.
If you choose for me to die, it's only going to cause more pain and suffering for another family, not me. It won't hurt me. I won't feel anything. It's going to hurt more innocent people.
This is now the father of Justin Beck speaking.
I'm not going to stand up here and tell you how much I hate you. That is without question. I would just hope that every time you close your eyes at night, you see my son, Justin.
After the jury recommended the death sentence, this is Myers' last chance to plead for his life in front of the judge.
I think there's a lot of good things I can do with my life if you allow me to keep my life.
And the judge doesn't buy it. He hands down the maximum sentence.
The defendant does not understand how precious life is. Therefore, the sentence of death shall be imposed upon Austin Gregory Myers on the charge of aggravated murder.
Nothing but a slight nod at just 19 years old. This made Myers the youngest Ohio individual to be put on death row. He is currently awaiting his execution at Chillicothe, the correctional institutions.
There were so many lives destroyed by this, and it was just for nothing. I mean, there was no money in the safe. There was nothing in there. They did this for basically nothing.